Welcome to Inquiry, presented by Peoria Proud. Our organization seeks to unify the community as a whole through advocacy, education, and social outreach. This series dives into topics that inform, inspire, and ignite community conversation. Let's get into it.
Okay, countdown. So hello, welcome back to Inquiry. Well, not really back for everybody listening. We had a little fun mishap where we accidentally went live. So if you saw that, this episode, you're not supposed to see it until May, and it is currently April something right now.
Sneak peek.
What is? Oh, tomorrow's tax day, right? Yeah, I think I did it already. I think. Well, anyway, so May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I have Hillary with me, a local cool lady, therapist, activist, all those fun things. Hillary, if you'd like to introduce yourself and
Yeah.
Again, after, because we kind of did this a few minutes ago, but
We need to take two. We need to take two. It's all good. But hello to the people that were watching us on live. I hope that you enjoyed your little sneak peek there.
And came back a month later.
You're going to be getting messages like, where'd you go? So yes, my name is Hillary Wasson. I am the owner of That Therapy Place here in Peoria, which is a private psychotherapy practice. I specialize in OCD and perinatal mental health. I also have 2 postmasters trauma specializations, and I am currently gaining expertise in religious trauma, deconstructing, and cults, which is not the path that I really thought I would go on as a therapist, but here we are. I'm also the campaign manager for my best friend, Megan McCombs, who is running for county board in Tazewell County.
Oh, fun. Look into her Tazewell County, people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She's just going to be awesome. And I'm also the founder of the local chapter of the Handmaid Army, so Handmaid Army of Peoria.
Oh, what is that?
We are a local activist group, and so we do a lot of good trouble, we'll say it. So if you've seen any Post-it notes up on gas pumps or anything like that, that was us. We're the ones that got kicked out of Walmart a couple months ago for dressing up in our cloaks and going and buying menstrual products.
Sounds legal to me.
I know. They really did not like that. 2 of us are banned for 2 years. Yeah.
Oh, no, you can't shop at Walmart.
I know. So sad. It's like I do Instacart all the time anyway. Like I haven't been in a grocery store since COVID. So it's, it's not that big of a deal except for that. But, and I'm also, and so that's kind of the Handmaid Army. We do some performance art pieces. We use the visual of the Cloak and Wings from Margaret Atwood's novel, obviously, to help raise awareness and raise funds also for local causes. In February, we donated 52 boxes of food to, I want to say, the neighborhood house. Last month, we donated over 1,000 diapers to Crittenden Center because babies wear diapers.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and so we thought maybe we would get the babies their diapers. And so we gave them a lot. And so we tried to do local events where we make friendship bracelets and try to do things to also bring joy. So it's not just about the kind of stoic, scary look that we can sometimes bring with us.
Give me one.
I did.
I feel like I should be wearing it right now.
And my friend Stephanie made those, and she made 1,000 for No Kings. She made 1,000 friendship bracelets, and we handed a ton out, but we also were gabbing. It looks beautiful. We also were gabbing a lot of the time too, so we still have a lot left over. So I kind of bring them everywhere I go.
Might as well.
Yeah. And then what else do I do? And then I'm a content creator too, but I make about $4 a month over there.
$4 is $4. Go get yourself a McChicken. Can you buy that for $4?
You used to be able to back in the old days.
You used to be able to buy 4.
Man, and I probably did. Honestly, that's probably what got me through college was a lot of McChickens.
And you said you went to ISU, right?
I did. And we kind of went over this during the sneak peek that will now be in the archives.
I might make it a TikTok.
Oh, that'd be fine. That'd be fine. Cool. I love it. Yes, when I went to school back in 2000, I thought I was either going to go into either medicine or the seminary. I was very involved in the church growing up and thought I wanted to help in some way, but also really loved the idea of maybe child psychiatry or, something like that, but had just an awful math teacher my freshman year of college. much. And I love teachers. I've been a professor myself. I used to teach at Bradley and at IATC. Don't do it anymore, but I love teachers. I'm from a family full of teachers, but man, that man did not need to be in that job. And summer between my freshman and sophomore year, I kind of thought, well, maybe I need to think about doing something different. And that was when I worked for the public aid office there.
I think more people need to speak on math trauma. We talk about religious and childhood, but like I have math trauma. My high school math teacher, Mrs. Loggy, well, she died, so it doesn't matter that I'm talking about her, I guess. But
speak freely.
She was not a nice lady. And then I go to college, and it was a self-guided math class, which I have ADHD. That is not something. Here's a computer. You just work at your own pace the whole semester. There's no due dates. There's no due dates. There's none of that. Oh, guess who did nothing? I need deadlines.
And where do you feel that in your body, Todd? I mean, that's trauma.
And you know what? To go even deeper, my 4th grade math teacher. Oh, you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket. Well, guess what?
Right.
I have more than that.
Right. And we could even just say it. We could just say, I'm not going to say it because it's going to ding out loud, but hey, SIRI, what is blah, blah, blah plus blah, 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 blah. And it would just give us the answer.
Done. And even more intense. Oh, if I show your work. Okay. Show your work, Siri.
Yeah. We don't even have to pull the thing out of our pocket to get it done. So I know. And God bless teachers, but that dude.
So kind of like being in the public aid and starting like maybe wanting to go into seminary, is that kind of what drew you to wanting to become a therapist or?
Yeah, it was that summer between freshman and sophomore year of college was very, very pivotal. I went to work at the public aid office just as an intern. So I was, taking out the trash and, shredding the papers and just doing very, very grunt work, which is necessary. And I learned so much while I was there. But something that was just a very pivotal moment in time for me, just one of those kind of canon events that you look back on was I was in the waiting room working on this bulletin board that I spent way too much time on that I'm not sure if anybody ever looked at, but it was all of the jobs that were open because this was in 2000 before we had the internet. I mean, we had the internet, but we didn't really have.
It wasn't accessible.
We didn't have Indeed and all that stuff. So
I made jobs on Craigslist.
Yeah. I don't think that was a thing back then. Like, when was Craigslist invented? Okay, we will stay on track.
We'll figure it out later.
I know. I'm like, I don't know about that. And so I had all of these different categories of, trucking jobs and food jobs, and I highlighted it and had clip art that I printed, and I just, would go in the newspaper and print out all of the, job ads and all that stuff. And so I was out there. God, I need to quit sniffing in the microphone. Sorry. And so I was in the waiting room working on my beloved bulletin board, and a woman came in that was around my age, 19 or so, and she was from a neighboring town. I didn't know her, but she said she had a baby in the car and a jar of peanut butter at home, and that was it. And I wanted to reach in my pocket and give her what little money I had, which was not much, but she showed up on the wrong day at the wrong time, because at that time you had to show up at a certain date and a certain time to apply for food stamps and benefits and whatnot. And she just had not checked any of the boxes. But everybody just kind of flurried into action because they knew that we had a crisis with this woman and this baby. And so she went and got the baby and came in, and they met with her for a couple hours. And when she left, I just was immediately intrigued and curious. What did they do? What did they do to help her? Because my initial instinct was just like, well, put that fire out right in front of you. But I knew that that's not what they were doing. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll take Intro to Social Work next semester. And so I took Intro to Social Work next semester. That was fall of 2001. And 2 weeks into that class was 9/11.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my professor was Tammy Thurman, who I have tried to find and cannot find her anywhere. So, Dr. Thurman, if you are listening, I have tried to find you just so I could say you changed my life, and I cannot find her. So maybe this will reach her. But she was a brilliant licensed clinical social worker like me, but also a JD, also an attorney. So God bless this woman, was probably in school for so long.
Right.
And class met on a Tuesday, which was when 9/11 happened. And we were in class at 9:30, And she looked at all of us, all of these bright-eyed little, baby social workers, and she says, something is happening in our country. We don't know what, because again, this was before we had our phones in our pockets, so we all just knew something was happening. And she said, as social workers, we will be called upon. And I immediately thought, well, that's interesting as well. I'm hooked. And so that was it.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in first grade, so
You
way
little baby.
different experience. We this is like a really crazy thing to say on the podcast, but I was a child, so I get forgiven for what happened. So the teacher let us watch like this horrible accident that happened. Well, then when the second plane hit, my whole class of boys cheered.
Whoa.
Because
you thought it was a game or something. Yeah.
And I ran into that teacher years later, and she was like, "Oh, I was mortified."
Right. Lesson learned. Maybe we don't do
let's turn the TV off for the first graders.
Yes.
Learn years later, oh, wow, okay.
Yes.
Yikes.
And God bless that teacher, didn't obviously know that was going to happen. The teachers now that still show it to children that might not be able to fully understand that. As a trauma therapist, I'm maybe not super thrilled about that being how we teach those lessons. So just something for them to kind of chew on a little bit.
Right.
We don't need to see that again.
So, kind of back into your therapy practice, what you do there. I know it's really hard for some people to get started going that feel they need to go or they don't realize maybe they should. What are some misconceptions? If someone's listening to this and they're like, oh, I'm scared, I don't want to go, I don't want to talk about what's some misconceptions people might have?
Yeah. I think that people oftentimes think that if they go into therapy, whether it be specific trauma therapy or just more of a general take on things, that they're going to have to go through every single detail of every single thing that they've been through. And historically, that has been maybe one approach, that we need to turn over every rock, so to speak. But now we've kind of realized that that's kind of maybe re-traumatizing people, and maybe a little bit unnecessary. Are there some exceptions to that? I've had many clients over the years that sometimes do need to walk through something in a safe and protected way, maybe to clarify if they weren't sure if something that happened to them was appropriate. And not that I'm a gauge on these types of things, but usually more times than not, we're able to find some type of violation that can be validated and worked through. And so a lot of times people think that they're going to have to go through every single thing. And I'll say, well, sometimes maybe we do, but that's up to us to kind of decide together. And it doesn't have to be all of the things. We don't have to go through that all the way that we used to think.
Right.
And also another thing I was thinking about, the trauma Olympics that people oftentimes try to engage in, of what I went through wasn't that bad, so I don't want to go and have whatever I went through kind of minimized. Well, what asshole, therapist would do that? But also we don't have a pedestal where we give these awards. And so I see a lot of people well, what I went through wasn't bad enough, or maybe even conversely, what I went through was so bad that no therapist would be able to handle that. And we can. And if we can't, or if it's something that is out of scope, we are legally and ethically bound to refer to other people. And it's not because it's too much. We're ethically bound to refer when it's out of scope. And so if somebody comes to me with a problem that I'm not trained in, or I'm not specialized in, and I just don't feel like I'm able to do that ethically. But as far as, that trauma is too much, or what you went through is too much, this is what we want to do. And so it's not just, please, yes, come to us. We can do it, but we want to help people with these things.
Yeah, one of my favorite things, when I went to therapy for the first time, she was like, oh, just so you know, if you realize you don't like me or we don't vibe together, it is totally okay to go to somebody else.
Yep.
My feelings won't be hurt.
Nope.
You can tell me straight up. Mm-hmm. You can ghost me. Oh.
Yep.
Well, this is a fun, little out if I don't actually like you.
Yep.
Or if your chair's not comfortable, I was being ridiculous. I'm thinking your couch is kind of uncomfortable. I might go somewhere else that has a better chair.
Yes.
And now, ever since COVID, it seems like there's so many virtual options, or you could just talk on the phone to a therapist. You can video chat. You can, Yeah.
And that's something that I think is important for people to think about too when it comes to virtual work. There is something to be said for that in-person dynamic and being able to, hand somebody a Kleenex if I want to, and being able to see somebody's, entire body to see if their leg is bouncing. When I'm virtual, I might not be able to pick up on those types of things.
Right.
But there's also some benefit to virtual work. I mean, during COVID, I was able to have patients show me parts of their house that we've talked about for years, but I've never been able to see.
Oh, yeah.
I was able to see items in their house that I wouldn't be able to see. Their pets, would be included in the session. And so I'm licensed in Illinois and New York, which is a horrible, awful process. And we need to have interstate licensing compact agreements that make that whole thing much easier, because it is a nonsense, ridiculous thing.
It feels like 50 different countries.
It really is.
You know,
it really
it's,
is. So I'm able to see people in New York and Illinois, but obviously I don't live in New York. So all of those people are going to be always virtual.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems so weird to me, like talking to someone so far away on that. I would always feel like they might be local, but there's so many options. Because when I was like looking at like different I didn't want virtual because I need to like read them myself, but maybe I don't know why I do that.
and that is what it is. And I think each person needs to kind of decide what feels best for them. And I historically have really valued that in-person work, but during COVID, I wasn't able to use one of my trauma specializations that I have, which is called sand play, which is a nonverbal Jungian technique used for trauma. And you need to be in the sand play room to do it.
Okay.
There are some virtual apps and things that were created, like some virtual sandboxes and things that are super cool. But it just was not necessarily really something that my brain really grabbed onto. And so during COVID, I got really curious about a technique called IFS, which is internal family systems. And I decided, well, I like to be kind of a guinea pig with things. I don't want to really refer. Not that I don't ever refer anything that I've tried to do myself, but I do try to do a lot of things myself because I've got a lot of problems myself. And so it's like, well, I've got anxiety. Okay, let's see if we can help this. And there wasn't anybody locally that was certified in it or trained in it. And so I found my therapist, her name was Judy, was up in Chicago, and I did a few years of IFS therapy with her, and I've never been in person with her.
I've never even thought of that. A therapist having a therapist.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. Yes, I have. What TV show was that? Where the guy, I don't know, maybe I'm imagining this, but his goal was to find like the therapist. So he got a therapist and then found out who their therapist was and then found out who that therapist was until they found like the therapist that doesn't have one that is like the top. And it was just like some average Joe, like it wasn't that serious.
Right.
But I was like, what a fun concept. Like, I'm going to find the one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm going to think on that. Who would that be? Ooh.
What is that? Like invisible string theory? Everybody's connected somehow.
Oh yeah. The collective unconscious.
Freaks me out. Like I look at this family photo like we had this is so off topic.
Go.
My family went to Six Flags. And there's this woman leaning against the fence in the background of like, when you go into Six Flags and they take your photo.
Yeah.
She's like so interesting to me. I remember always just staring at her in the photo. I'm like, she looks really cool. Yeah. She doesn't know she's in this like family photo that we look at all the time. Like she's just chilling on a fence, probably like.
I see TikToks where people post stuff like that though, and they try to find the person, and a lot of times they find them.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, and it's like, and it's always really cool. I will go to the comment sections on that every time. Every time.
Oh, I have seen it. I like it when they already found the person and I find the video. I don't have to like wait. I'm impatient.
It is grossly unfulfilling when I go to the comments hoping that there's like a great story and then it's like, no, we still don't know who this person is.
I should do that. My best friend from elementary school, his name was, he's from China. His name is Harry Chen. Okay, try searching Harry Chen on any social media.
You're going to get like Simpsons episodes from like the 90s.
Here's the thing. They're 20 years older now or what, it's like, oh, like what is he, you don't have pictures from when you're in 4th grade on here, right?
Right.
Moved around all the time. Like I should make a video. Harry Chen, do you remember me from Bloomington, Illinois? I remember your mom taught me how to use chopsticks and I like fish now because of her. And like, I need to find you.
See, but I love those kinds of stories. And when we think about mental health and what we need to do, I encourage my patients to have a happy playlist of things. Have, and if looking at TikToks of people connecting with, people from so long ago that were just maybe could have been seen as a random little blip in their life,
Right.
but then it gets validated and you find each other again in whatever way, even if it's just a, hey, I found you on TikTok. Hey, I remember you. Cool. I hope you're well.
Right.
That brings me joy. I love that. Like watching a dog drink out of a garden hose, like the amount of videos that I have like that in my playlist, we got to have that anymore.
Oh, and not to be toxic, but Harry, I'm a lot easier to find.
Come on, Harry Chin. If that's the best thing that comes out of our podcast, then I am 100% like, yes, love that.
I don't know if this is one of the questions I prepared for you, but like looking at like the political climate, both sides, do you see that affecting people? I think I know the answer, but for our listeners, do you see that affecting people's mental health a lot? Like political climate? Because I remember like some administrations, you sit down, you don't hear anything ever happening, and then some, like maybe the current one, I won't say specific. You hear something on the news every single day.
Right.
And it's like, what? Is this real?
Right.
Did the president really make an AI picture of himself looking like Jesus? Hypothetically?
Hypothetically he did, but hypothetically he was looking like a doctor, Todd. It was.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he was a doctor because he's a helper. I can't even.
I do have to say, I do use AI quite a bit to try, like, there's like really good practices for it, but then there's sometimes I see like people making images like that, or what was it, Illinois State University, to call them out, they're on a strike right now.
What's going on over there?
They got they were like the top 100 universities for education or something, but like the graphic for it is an AI image. And I'm like, you are a university that has hundreds of students at a graphic design program.
Right.
There's got to be a graphic designer on staff at ISU. Like, honestly, is it not someone's full-time job somewhere at ISU to make these? Or maybe one of your professors that teaches it?
Right. Or go on Fiverr. Is that still a thing?
Oh, I use Fiverr all the time.
Right.
I'm obsessed with it.
And I don't think they're using AI. And if they are, you can tell. And then it's like, well,
you can tell.
Then I'm going to get my Fiverr back. And so, yeah, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. But God bless the people over there that are doing the work to strike and try to make some better conditions. And I think you're right that we have this inundation of information. And I mean, our ancestors, if they were to know that we have this ability to look up anything on our phones, they would be like, what's a phone? It's in our pocket. It's endless amounts of information. We can literally find access to anything at any time. And we get bombarded with new things all the time. And in 2026, a lot of what is happening is evil. So I want to start with that. Of course, I don't want to make light of the atrocities and the evil and the harm and the deaths and everything. But my God, is it dumb?
Yeah.
It is dumb. It is dumb. We are in the dumbest part of this timeline. And as a therapist, we need therapists. I mean, the healers need healers as well. And I say this, I hope in a way that helps people feel seen that nobody's really doing really great right now.
Right.
And myself, everybody in my personal life that knows what's going on is on the struggle bus. But what we're doing, we're trying to lean in. We're trying to communicate with each other and create mutual aid networks. We're trying to do things to help the community. We're trying to uplift candidates like my wonderful, beautiful best friend that's running for county board in Tazewell County, Megan McCombs, and Paul Noley, who's running against Darren LaHood. Like we're trying to really take that angst and do something, because that's kind of all we can do at this point. But yeah, we're not meant to be inundated in this way. It's not healthy.
A few episodes ago, we had Chris Kagard from Women League of Voters on, and he talked a little bit about like how you can kind of feel helpless when it comes to an election and you're voting because does my vote really matter? And, sometimes when you look at these big elections, if you're from like a state where the whole state kind of just picks that presidential candidate, like the opposite of yours. But things people really need to look at is it's not so helpless to vote on your local elections. Mayor Rita, I hope you're listening, but we are still so sorry you lost by one vote for city council many years ago. But see, like one vote.
Right.
And she probably had a friend sitting at home that was like, oh my God, I forgot to go vote. I voted, I promise.
Right. We'll take that to our grave.
Yep. But yeah, so like with all this like crazy stuff going on, stuff like that, like how can individuals kind of like better support themselves or like their friends around them? Like how can community come together to kind of better support everyone?
I think I often, at least in the last several months, have been really drawn to what's been going on in Minnesota and the way that they had just such a traumatic experience thrown at them, and they're not through it. And I certainly don't want to pretend like they've come out of it and everything's okay, because I know that we're not seeing everything that we need to be seeing. But what I was really impressed with, and just really not even impressed, but amazed by, was the ability of that community to come together and to figure out what's needed done in order to protect the vulnerable. And it was a lot of the women that were leading the charge. And so I think for now, we're at a place where people that have historically maybe just done a little bit of ostriching, now is the time to maybe figure out a way that you can participate. And that feels really good. And that's why I love my group, because we do things that might push people a bit, but you can feel like you're actually doing something. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that people like are pushed a bit, but still within the confines of their safety. And so like I'm thinking of, the last No Kings that we had, and some people might not be able to go in person. My own mother has started going to protests and things like that, which is adorable, but it was very, very cold that day. She's very old and fragile and doesn't drive. So she watched online, and she's texting me like, I'm watching Bruce Springsteen, and I'm like, Mom, I don't think those numbers get counted in like the big official number, but the live stream numbers do get counted.
Oh, yeah.
And she felt very excited about that. And so, if you haven't really done anything to give back or participate, find a way that makes sense to you. And if that's doing things from home, if that's donating any extra money, if people have that, if that's driving by and showing support to the people that are on the front lines, that's where we're at. And so I think what I encourage people to do is find a way that makes sense to them. Push yourself if you need to, but then let's turn to each other so that we can have that safety in numbers.
And and honestly, no one's blaming. If you have like this crazy life and you're just focused on surviving, no one is blaming you if you don't. But we hope to see you someday. And I was leading with the question with that.
Ooh, I call those poofers, when they just poof. Where'd it go?
Goodbye.
Where'd it go? Sometimes it'll come back, and sometimes it's gone.
Right.
And that's okay.
You were speaking of No Kings, and it was kind of fun. I saw like I do doom scroll on TikTok quite often. It's
Same.
It's fine.
I know.
But if I ever have children, they're not allowed to have it.
That's fine. That's fine.
This whole nursing home, like a nursing home, there was a No Kings right by, and they all came out. And
I saw that. I think I might have seen that because you reposted
That's
it.
probably what happened. I work with the older population, and people like to assume that a certain generation leans one side politically, like majority. It's not true at all. Yeah. My company did this thing where it was like free rides to go vote. And we got a lot of people from nursing homes. Well, nursing homes, they vote early. Typically, they come in to the nursing home, they let them vote early. But if they were just admitted there or something, the nursing home won't pay for them to go somewhere like that a lot of times.
Oh, wow.
So free rides to vote. And I definitely lean one way. And I drove a lot of people that leaned the other way, and it was a very stressful drive for me, I will say, for some of them. I'm like, I don't want to drive you, but I respect your right to vote and your opinion. So here we go. That's just kind of how I, feel about those things. Like, I can respect your I can't always respect people's opinions.
And that's
it is
fair.
so hard because sometimes your opinions are bad
Right.
and
Right.
mean.
If
and
they hurt people.
you know, those kinds of things. And
And don't you think that that's where we're at as a society where, you know, I mean, both of my degrees are in social work. And so social activism and politics have always been incredibly intertwined in everything that I've done. So I've never, and I mean never, understood when therapists are like, well, I don't bring politics into the therapy room. And at this point, shut up. I'm
Right.
sorry. Like, who are you talking? Where are you? How are you able to do that? That's not the life that we have right now. And so I think being able to realize that we have to include the fact that we have people that are very much in danger right now. And people say, oh, you know, fear mongering, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. We're able to read the tea leaves, so to speak, and being able to have the therapeutic environment, to kind of go back to the previous question of what can we do to help each other. Therapy anymore, at least within my therapy room, a lot of it is just us kind of sitting there and being like, yeah, this sucks.
yeah. And it's good to find, that's like where it comes, like finding a good therapist that you vibe with, and that's good for you. Like, I tried so hard for like, I want a gay. Okay, first of all, there's not a lot of therapists around. So like virtual does come options because I'm like, oh, I want a gay man that's in his like 50s to be my therapist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's like some very,
Dream him up.
you can't put that in like a search engine. Like, you can't put
picturing,
that
like,
as your criteria.
There should be like a create a therapist machine or something. Like you put
Then
in
it
the
finds it
criteria
for
you
you.
want, and then it just like opens up, and there's the ideal therapist there. And I meant to look this up before I came here, so I would be better remembering the numbers. So I'm going to muck this up a little bit. But I remember a study that I saw on NPR before COVID, so it's probably not gotten better, but it was about how they did some kind of impromptu study where they had somebody pretend like they were looking for therapy services. And so they called like 100 therapists in their communities. They were like a metropolitan area that had, you know, more options than we do here. And they got maybe 10 calls back.
Really?
And maybe 2 of them had openings. And maybe, who knows, do they take your insurance? Do they vibe with you? Are they accessible in terms of transportation? Do you like their office? Like, you know, there's just like so many dynamics that
Right.
play. And and I have always tried to be better about calling people when they call for services, even if I'm full, because I just always remembered that study. And I need to like recommit to that because I've been kind of falling off the horse with that a little bit. But I just always remember that study of how like awful it feels. And I've been on that side of things, looking for help for something and just being like, how much are you supposed to have to like try for this thing that should
Right.
be easy? And so I just hope that people will keep trying, get on those waiting lists, call repeatedly, be the squeaky wheel. But therapists, we need to do better, myself included.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you, you know, you're quite visible online, and we had you as a vendor at Pride Fest. We hope you
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
Yet. Have you been able to get, like, have you, like, got clients where, or do you call them, what do you guys call them, patients?
I go back and forth a bit. Before I worked because I used to work at Methodist, now Carl. And they are very patient. They wanted us to call them patients, very hospital
Okay.
centered. And so even though I'm in private practice now, I still kind of held on to that patient. So that's what I call them. But sometimes I still slip and call them clients.
'Cause I do medical transport.
Okay.
And I have to, like, tell my drivers, like, you can't call them patients.
Oh.
Because we are a non-emergency. So they
Okay.
are our customers. They are not a patient. We are not providing, we're giving them a ride to their doctor's appointment in a medical way,
Okay.
wheelchair, but they are, so it's just kind of curious on
I
that.
know.
You know, it's but like, have you like got patients or that came to you like, oh my God, I saw you at Pride Fest. I saw your TikTok video. Has that happened to you or?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Not a ton, and I am chronically full, even though I complain about having no money. And if I took on more patients, I'm like, I know that would be better. But the unpaid labor that gets done with handmade stuff and campaigning and everything, I'm just kind of willing to live in a perpetual state of, I say poverty. I know I'm doing okay in comparison to a lot of things, but man, it's rough.
Yeah.
But I'm chronically full and just not really able to take on a lot of people because of all the other stuff that I do. So, but I have gotten people from TikTok and stuff before.
Yeah, it's interesting hearing that perspective. Like, oh, I'm full. I wish I could take on more. But then I have a friend who's a hairdresser that brags about like, oh, I can't take any new clients. I am full. I am that popular.
I'm full because I'm so scattered and I do a lot of unpaid labor for fighting fascism.
Right.
That's where we are.
And we need people out doing that work that have the time, and, sometimes I wish I had like some like rich husband at home where I could just, I don't like that whole like stereotype, like stay at home this, but I'm like, you know what? If I could go out and just do all this free labor,
right,
I could make the world so much better.
Absolutely.
But I also still need to eat when I go home.
Right. I mean, would it be nice for me to be able to sit at home and like eat some bonbons and just watch some soap operas or something? Like maybe in another lifetime, that's been my journey. But now I just want to, help get people elected that I think will do really good work to help us get out of this absolute crisis that we are in right now, that people still continuously, I think, are waking up more and more. But man, we're in the thick of it. And so my hope is that, with Mental Health Awareness Month and being able to put that in the forefront of people's minds, that we all have mental health, just like we all have physical health. We all have needs that need tended to. Let's tend to them with kindness and compassion, and be direct with what you need too. And so I was kind of thinking of an earlier question you asked about how do we support each other. I encourage people to be direct with what you need. A client taught me this, and I was like, that is so much better than what I had normally taught. I would normally teach people, ask for, do you want to just bitch or do you want solutions? And I think that's still a fair direction to go. But this client said, well, we do helped, heard, or held. And I thought, oh, I like that. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that is so good, because sometimes you're like, I don't want solutions right now. And the way that the brain works is when we're activated, that problem solving part of the brain is not on. And so sometimes we do just need to be able to just vent. But sometimes we do want that physical touch. Sometimes we don't want anybody even close to us.
Right.
And so being able to be direct with what do you need right now.
And is there any advice you have for like let's say someone's listening and they just can't access, like they tried, or they're in a situation where they live where they can't access like mental health like resources and stuff. Like, is there anything you like recommend? Like, what can they do just at home to try to get through before they can kind of like access these sorts of services?
Well, here in Peoria, we do have access to a lot of resources that are free. Center for Prevention of Abuse. When people are in crisis, most communities do have some kind of crisis infrastructure set up. Are those safety nets being dismantled every single day as we go on? Yes, unfortunately they are. But we can still at least try to see if some of those things are there that might be free and accessible, and able to be done from your home, right? Crisis text line and things like that. But if those things are still not able to be accessed for whatever reason, I think people having their own real support network that they can turn to of people that they're able to show up authentically to. And I'm not afraid to admit that, I've had some difficult times recently, and even in a couple months ago was having a real hard time. And my best friend came over, and she likes putting stuff together. And I was like, I don't like putting stuff together. If I get something in the mail that needs put together, I literally want to throw it out the window. I don't want to do it. And she likes puzzles. She likes doing that stuff. And I was like, I'm in a mentee bee right now. I cannot do any of this. And so do you want me to come do those things? Yeah, I do. And she did. And I remember just thinking, I have some parts within me. IFS is a parts type of therapy that I can expand on for hours and hours. So we might have to have some guardrails with that. But if I have a part of me that feels guilty for that, or feels kind of like, oh, I shouldn't ask for that. What a basic thing. I'm a smart person. I should be able to do this. But I wouldn't judge somebody else for doing that.
Right.
And so I think a lot of times people need to, like the golden rule, we need to flip it. It's not treat other people the way you would treat yourself. It's treat yourself the way you would treat other people.
I've never heard that. I like that.
Yeah. We're in the upside down, man. Everything that we know, we need to just strike that and reverse it.
I was quite lucky with growing up that my church that my parents went to didn't give me like any religious trauma or anything. And my youth pastor, I kind of want to give him a little shout out. Mm-hmm. How do I give him a good shout? So he always did this thing, and it's what he lives by, and I don't agree for it for myself. But he always said like, God is first. Everybody else is second. I'm third. His license plate said I am third.
Yes.
This and I was like, I don't actually like you not putting yourself first. But now Steve, he's married all my friends from youth group. Like just a good guy. He used to be an AIDS counselor before he was a youth pastor. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
He got COVID and it damaged his heart to where he needs a heart transplant. And now he's like in the hospital and he started to GoFundMe and. I was like, for him calling himself I am third all these years, oh my God, the amount of impact he made on all these people. But it's also kind of what maybe got him like kind of there a little bit, So it's...
we need to be able to speak up for ourselves.
I see about putting yourself third, but also make sure you put yourself first too.
Right.
And not everyone believes in the man in the sky, so...
Yep.
You don't have to put him first, even if you are religious.
Right.
I don't think he wants you to, quite honestly.
The God I believe in doesn't really need that.
Right.
It's like, you do you. If you need to take some time for you, do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I grew up with the I'm third stuff. I had a button from youth group that back in the late 90s that said I'm
made
third.
It up.
I'm sorry. No, it's... And it's still a thing. I went to a church, a local like gross church, a couple years ago for like an event that they were having or whatever. Even though I don't support like a giant percentage of organized religion here in America, I basically pay taxes for them. And so when they have events that have free stuff, I go. And I get all sorts of free stuff because I feel like they owe me because they don't pay taxes. And I do. And so I remember an event that I went to like Christmas time or something a couple years ago at a church on the other side of the river. And I saw a dude in an I'm third baseball cap.
Oh my gosh.
Just like a couple years ago. And I was like, no, it's still a thing. God. And it's so backwards because it's like, I really don't think that that's very healthy. And what we've learned about, like, let's just use autoimmune disorders for women, say, okay, so an overwhelming amount of diagnoses for autoimmune disorders are towards women, right? Like we get diagnosed with them with a really high frequency. And one trait that they've found with the women that get diagnosed with that is unexpressed anger. And so it's like, it's literally killing us when we don't get it out. And when our needs are not met, even if it's just that person-to-person validation, our body starts to turn on itself. And so I'm all for rage rooms, bitch fests, sit with your friend and run through the same thing that's happened again and again. Get it out. Get it out.
And it's terrible. Like people they seek care from doctors and the doctor is like, oh, you're, I don't know.
Hysterical.
You're crazy. Mm-hmm. That used to be like a legit like medical thing where they put people like commit women because, oh, they're hysterical.
Yeah.
Okay, well, actually, they probably just didn't like you prying them open and giving them a husband stitch. And you know what I mean? Like
not using anesthesia for things or, yeah, it's horrible.
Or like, it's just like, I'm happy for like these medical advances we have. Like we can like, when we look at like the history, but we still have like such a far way. Like, I try to tell people that sometimes like, it's hard to feel like discouraged now when you look at like, when it comes to gay rights and like civil rights but like also don't forget how far it's come at the same time. But it's also going backwards and forward and you got to look at the whole timeline. And like, America's about to celebrate 250 years, which honestly, like, we should be excited, but it's really hard to, the way that we've handled our country over the years, from both sides doing this and that, and people and corporations are the real evil people, if you ask me.
And I want to be able to celebrate this summer. Yeah. I love our country in some ways, but in so many other ways, gosh, the history is so, once you learn about it, right? I mean, I grew up in American public schools, and again, not trying to dog on teachers, but our education system, I grew up not knowing anything about America being like not the greatest thing in the whole world. Right. And then like that summer or the semester after I took intro to social work and started to kind of like actually learn about things, I took a class at ISU. I think he's still there, Dr. Nassar. And it was politics of Africa, Asia, and Latin America. And in that class, he just continuously taught us over and over and over again about, we say that we give a lot, but here's the actual percentage. And we say that we are like helpers. And this was in 2001, right? And so it's like when you look at the harm that we have done, when we think of the colonization and the racial injustice that has been present, the DSM needs to just be wiped clean and started over. Right. That's our diagnostic manual that doesn't include racial trauma. What are we doing? And so there's so much that needs to be revamped, but I do have hope, and so you kind of touched on that a little bit, that I do have hope.
Yeah, I do feel someday, so I'm married to a British man who moved to America, and we're talking about our childhoods, and he went to Catholic school and everything, and okay, he was fine. Mm-hmm. But then I told he knew about the Pledge of Allegiance, but he did not know we did it every single day. Mm-hmm. in class. But I kind of explained to him the way I looked at it. Yeah, it is kind of like when you think about it from like a European perspective, like, why do you do that? Feels very
culty.
Yes.
It's culty. Yep.
But I was like, but a lot of us took that liberty and justice for all quite seriously.
Yeah.
So we have this generation that kind of gets mad at like my generation, like for having these opinions, some like my aunts and uncles and stuff. They're like,
why do you care so much?
We didn't raise you to have these opinions. Oh, you kind of actually did.
Right.
Don't be mad about it. You wanted us to go to college and get an education and raised us this way. And that's why we.
And I want that, right. Like I grew up on Mr. Rogers, and he taught us that we care for our neighbors and whatnot. And so, and I want to say, I need to fact check this because I don't want to spew things that are not true, but I want to say that there's only one other country that does a Pledge of Allegiance. I want to say the Philippines. Really? And so it's not normal. It's not normal. And there are a lot of things that happen in this country that people just kind of take as that's just understood. That's just what you do. And when you start to learn and deconstruct and say, well, but why? Why do we do that? That's a bit authoritarian.
And then I don't get mad at like this older generation that's like, the greatest generation, I think that's what they're called, or baby boomers. When you bring up the idea of like, oh, let's stop doing that. Well, immediately they're like,
but we've always done it.
You hate America?
Right.
No, I love America.
Right.
That's why. You can love something and know that it needs a lot of work.
Right.
Because, I have a friend that moved to Paris, and I know she's listening.
Hey.
She's like, oh, it's so much greater. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm trying to make sure it's nice here for like future generations. Thank you.
Yeah. And something that I continuously think of is, we have privilege that we need to take into consideration. Am I a woman? Yes, that knocks me down a little bit of a peg. Like I'm bisexual. Okay. I'm a single mom. Okay. Like there's some things, but I do have privilege. And I think being able to take all of that into account to say, yes, and there are like so many people historically, especially here in our country, that didn't have the option whether to have hope or not. They just had to.
Right.
And thank goodness that they did. Thank goodness that they did whatever they needed to do to continue. But even though I have moments of time where I feel really hopeless, really helpless, really dejected, really like, what is this timeline again? How did we get here? I thought it should have ended at Kofifi. Remember Kofifi? Ugh. Our president tweeted COVFEFE during his first administration. Okay. And it was like a middle of the night. It seemed like like when you stay up too late on Ambien, not that I've ever done that. And then he like, and I'm like, that should have been it. That should have been it. It should have ended at Kofifi. And I probably have some. I make a bunch of Kofifi friendship bracelets because I think it's like so funny because it's like, what do you mean that was just like, oh, he just did that. Okay. So for all of the times that I just look back at the last 10 years and think, my God, that should have been it. That should have been it. Okay. But how do we conjure up that hope and move forward? It's kind of got to be done.
And I try not to get political, but the people that tolerate some of the things he has tweeted and stuff, I want you to sit down for a minute and just think how you would respond if Barack Obama did the same exact thing.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I know.
Just sit down for a minute and imagine if Barack Obama tweeted a photo of himself looking like Jesus Christ. I think we would see protests bigger than No Kings.
Right.
Right. Or maybe not. We see they're quite smaller.
I actually just bought, and I bought it off of a gross website that ships from overseas. I know, yuck, but this is just the torturous place that we are, where we all spend money in disgusting corporations because this is just where we're at. But I joined, I'll get to that. I bought a tan suit from that, a tan pantsuit. I really want to wear it if I ever get to have a meeting with Darren LaHood, which I have been asking for 10 years, and I've never, ever gotten a call back. I've been calling that man for 10 years, and I've never gotten a call back. But if I do ever get a meeting that I've been asking for 10 years, I'm wearing that tan pantsuit. It's going to look
crazy of you to want a meeting with your representative.
I know. Go figure. Hasn't had a town hall since 2017. Paul Nolly will have them all the time. I just know it. I also, at that disgusting website, I know it's not the best way to spend our money, but these are desperate times. I joined the Porch Goose Life.
I have a porch goose.
You do not.
Yes, I do. Her name is Clarabelle. She's currently wearing a raincoat. Oh my God, my husband hates her. My friends make fun of me, but you know what? So I moved into an HOA. Right? Yeah. And okay, not to like make myself sound like pretentious or something. I did it on purpose.
You got
because like I'll probably be the president someday.
Yeah.
Your grass is too tall. Go cut it. Okay, anyway.
But you could and what's her name? Clarabelle?
Clarabelle. I got a letter from the HOA
about Clarabelle
saying that she makes the neighborhood more beautiful.
Oh, God,
so
I'm so
move
negative.
into a good HOA, people. They're not bad if you move into a nice one.
I'm so negative. I'm so doomsday. I was like, oh no.
They told you have to get rid of her.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. Oh, I'm like, we got to start a rally for Clarabelle.
Oh, but if I put up like vinyl siding, that's bad. But the Clarabelle's fine.
But Clarabelle's fine.
Yes.
Clarabelle's fine. But with my tan pantsuit, I bought my new Porch Goose that came from TikTok Shop, like a sunflower outfit, a 4th of July outfit, a Christmas tree, ridiculous thing. And so in terms of what people can do for their mental health, I guess maybe also hate capitalism, but love stuff. I know it doesn't make sense, but it makes me happy.
Getting a Porch Goose will improve your mental health.
I think it's what saved me this month.
You can get a concrete one. You can get a plastic one.
Mine's plastic. You can put stuff in the bottom so it doesn't lift off.
Oh, mine, I can't even move it. It is.
Oh, it's so heavy.
She's solid concrete.
That's how mine was growing up. I had a Porch Goose growing up. And I told my mom yesterday, I said, Mom, I got a Porch Goose. And I could see her, she kind of like went back in time, and she's almost 80, and it was just so adorable. And so I've joined the Porch Goose Life. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that we found that commonality.
And when we get off air, I'm showing you photos.
Please, please.
Well, to wrap this up.
Yeah. Yes.
Where can people find you? How can they get involved with your army that you have?
Yeah. On TikTok, it's under my. Oh God!
I'll tag you.
Yeah, I think it's my handle is my office, which is that therapy place. but it's under my name. And then Instagram is the same, so that therapy place. And then on Facebook, I was anti-Facebook. I got off of Facebook for, many reasons. And then when I started Handmade Army, it was like, okay, we gotta go back on Facebook. Because that's where
kind of the best way to contact.
It's the best way to contact people. It's the best where people look for events and all that stuff. So if you look on Facebook just for Handmade Army of Peoria, that's kind of like the main central hub for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I hope to have you back.
Yeah.
And I will be driving around Pride Fest again.
Yeah.
Interviewing people.
I think we're gonna and if I can plug, we do have a Venmo for Handmade Army, just Handmade Army of Peoria. We're trying,
of course.
We're trying to raise money for our Pride entry fee because we want to be able to go to Pride this year.
Fantastic!
We're a pretty new group. It's only been a few months, and so we've got that as well.
Oh yeah, and Pride Fest is third Saturday of July. Day before, going back to like America 250, I really wanted to find a nice way to celebrate.
Yeah.
So Illinois, Peoria Proud partnered with Illinois Humanities, and we're able to get a Rhodes Scholar to do a live inquiry the day before.
Oh, fine.
Oh my God, what is her name? I'm going to tag her name right here. She is going to do a presentation on the Great Migration of the South, people moving to Illinois, and the digital divide on how people still have like not great access to internet in certain areas and how that can be a barrier for a lot of things. So exciting way to celebrate. So hope to see everyone at that.
Absolutely. Thank you for all the work you do, Todd.
Oh, thank you.
And Porch Goose for life.